You're tired. You're the kind of tired that sleep doesn't refresh. You've taken long weekends, you've turned off your phone, you've drawn hot baths, you've slept for hours, only to wake up feeling just as profoundly exhausted as you were before. What if I told you the exhaustion weighing you down isn't just because you're working too hard? What if your soul is bleeding? We are constantly told to practice self-care. We're told to take a day off, buy a candle, get a massage, go to the gym, but you cannot nap your way out of a compromised conscience. Today we aren't talking about how to rest in the ways the world tells us to. We're talking about why you are still so depleted and why the cure for your pain has absolutely nothing to do with taking a vacation. We're looking at a wound that goes much deeper than your schedule. We're going to explore a concept that might completely reframe how you look at your life, your career, and your exhaustion. Moral injury, which means your core values have been transgressed. By the end of this episode, you're going to understand the critical difference between burnout and moral injury. We're going to uncover how to actually heal a soul-deep wound in a compromised, sometimes toxic world without losing your inner compass. We're moving past the surface-level hacks and get into the real nitty-gritty of what it means to keep your integrity intact when the environment around you is trying to crush it. If you're struggling with high achiever burnout or a toxic workplace, and you feel like no matter how much you rest, you are profoundly exhausted and disconnected from your purpose, then this video is for you. For over 40 years, I've navigated some of the most intense, high-stakes environments in the world, from Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater and Broadway's The Lion King to American Ballet Theater. I've worked with thousands of artists, executives, and high achievers. In the arts and in the corporate world, we are often asked to bend. We are pushed to play the game, to stay quiet, and to assimilate. But what happens when your bending turns into breaking? What happens when the elite artistic or executive experience demands that you abandon the very things that make you you? I'll share a story from my own leadership journey where I felt this exact breaking point. And later, I'll give you 3 practical tools to help you identify and heal this specific kind of wound. Because walking with lions means identifying and walking with your moral injuries. Welcome to Season 5 of Roar. In our last episode, we talked about the hallway between stages, navigating the terrifying liminal space, the void of the transitions in between one gig or another. But today, we need to talk about the toll the stage itself takes on you. We hear the word burnout thrown around everywhere. Burnout is officially classified by the World Health Organization as an occupational phenomenon resulting from chronic, unmanaged workplace stress. It's defined by overwhelming energy, depletion or exhaustion, increased mental distance from a job, and reduced professional efficacy. Although it's not a medical illness, it can be quite debilitating. But there's a fringe concept originally from military psychology that explains a much darker, heavier exhaustion. Coined by clinical psychiatrist Jonathan Shea, moral injury occurs when you perpetuate, fail to prevent, or witness acts that transgress your deeply held moral beliefs and expectations. It's a psychological wound that happens when you are forced to act against your own conscience, or when you are trapped in a system that portrays what you know to be right. Woo! Ain't that the truth? The world feels like moral injury right now. The things that are happening are just morally wrong. They're ethically wrong. It's so unnecessary. And it feels like going day to day to my regular job feels almost wrong because people are suffering. I'm getting off track, but that's what it feels like when you're in a space where you are forced to do things that go against who you really are. And sometimes you're doing that to pay the mortgage. So I get it. You got to pay the mortgage. You got to pay for your life and do things sometimes that are not really in alignment with who you are. You don't have to be in combat to experience this. You can experience moral injury in the office, in the dance studio, in a hospital or boardroom. It happens when you're asked to implement corporate policy you know hurts people. It happens when you're forced to stay silent when a toxic leader berates a colleague. It happens when your core values like love, respect, connection, belonging are actively crushed by the environment you rely on to pay your bills. The pain, the anxiety, the depression, the exhaustion you feel, that can cause a moral injury. I've lived this. In my transition from being a dancer who lived an authentic life of self-expression, how I missed that world, and then becoming an administrator and a leader, I found myself in intensely toxic workplaces. People didn't care about self-expression or how I felt as a human. I was being gaslit and flames on a daily basis by people who did not have my best interest at heart. I was dealing with co-workers who made it clear that there was no respect coming in my direction. People chose not to respect me. It was a conscious choice that I could feel every day. I remember feeling utterly depleted, lonely, and sad. I wasn't just burned out from the work I was doing. I was morally injured. My core values of connection, collaboration, creativity were being stunted, silenced. In fact, I was criticized for having those core values. I was being forced to put up armor, to engage in office politics, and to witness behavior that made my soul ache. We artists pour our souls into our work. When you are forced to abandon your core values to survive the industry, you aren't just tired, you're wounded. Psychological moral injury breeds profound cognitive dissonance. You are living two lives, the life of the person you know yourself to be, and the life of the person you are being forced to be to survive the system. This split creates immense shame, guilt, and a loss of trust in yourself and the world. No amount of rainbows, gumdrops, and bluebirds is gonna cure the pain of a compromised conscience. By the way, if this is resonating with you and you've ever felt the ache of being in a space that doesn't honor your soul, please hit the like and subscribe. We're building a tribe of authenticity, and we need your light in it. Stay with me, we're about to get to some practical tools. Standard self-care treats the body, but moral repair requires treating the integrity of your spirit. When you understand that you're not just exhausted, but morally injured, you can stop blaming yourself for not being resilient enough. You're plenty resilient. You just need the right kind of medicine. So how do we heal a bruised conscience, a bone-deep psychological wound? How do we walk with a line of moral injury while protecting the core of ourselves? Here are 3 actionable items where theory becomes application. Name the wound and audit your values. The first step is separating burnout from moral injury. Ask yourself, am I just tired, or do I feel ashamed, guilty, or fundamentally misaligned? Look at the environment that is draining you and identify exactly where the value is being crushed. If you're having a gut-wrenching reaction to the tone of your boss who is silencing your ideas disrespectfully, what value is being stepped on? Freedom, respect, creativity, collaboration? Write the top 3 down and see my other videos on identifying your core values. Naming the transgression takes it out of the shadows. It reminds you that you aren't crazy, you aren't weak. You are having a healthy human reaction to an unhealthy situation. In my case, I didn't understand my core values are being stamped. I only know now looking back. But now that I know my core values, I can identify almost immediately when one of them is being crushed, bruised, or bumped. I do what I can to protect my value. Sometimes naming the transgression makes me feel better even if I don't say anything. When I do say something, I do so confidently and I become gaslight proof. It takes practice. Differentiate between rest and repair. Rest is passive. It's sleeping or watching a movie. Repair is active realignment with your integrity. To heal a moral injury, you must engage in actions that restore your sense of goodness and purpose. If your job forces you to be ruthless, you must counterbalance that by being fiercely generous outside of work. Volunteer, mentor a young person, or create art that speaks to your truth. You must prove to yourself through action that your moral compass is still intact. That's why I make these videos. Whatever is happening in the world and in my life, I have a place to point my truth. And if you're still watching, you have no idea how happy that makes me. You are literally helping me honor my core value of self-expression, and I hope I'm helping you honor yours. Create a moral sanctuary of integrity. You might not be able to quit your job right away. You've got bills to pay. But you must establish what I call a micro sanctuary, a strict, non-negotiable boundary where your core values rule supreme. It might be your home, a specific creative hobby, or a weekly dinner with your chosen family. Within this space, no toxicity or playing the game is allowed. I've got a friend who declares Sundays are my repair days. He takes no calls. He is selfishly in service of himself, and nothing gets in the way on a Sunday. You must fiercely protect this environment so your nervous system remembers what it feels like to be safe, authentic, and morally aligned. You teach people how to treat you, and you must start by treating yourself with unwavering respect in your sanctuary. The exhaustion weighing you down might not be burnout, but a moral injury. You cannot rush your way out of a compromised conscience. You can heal it through value-driven action, active repair, and fiercely protecting your integrity. In our next episode, we're going to explore the costumes you wear to survive society. We'll dive into how the identities and masks you wear dictate how you think, and how to choose yours purposefully without losing the authentic you underneath. Your moral compass is your greatest asset. Protect it, nurture it, fight for it, let it guide you. One planet, one tribe, one world, one love. I'll see you there.